Welcome all to Saturday Evening Chat with G23. This is episode 11. How is everyone doing? I see we have first Gun Loving Grandpa, followed up by Mr. M. Gabriel, Mr. FNH, and Pancake Boy himself, Midnight Range TM. Hopefully everyone's enjoying this fine Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. So I see in the news the Kansas governor decided to hold a anti-2A rally and was out proudly wearing a Moms Demand Action shirt. Welcome, Mr. Kingpin. Welcome, Aaron. I threw a link out in the chat if anyone wants to jump in. My Mr. Co-host, DM Foss, isn't here. So, I was hoping that I was going to be joined by another YouTuber, Mr. Pickle from Hanging with Pickle, doing hammock camping, but he may not be able to jump in tonight. I'm not 100% sure. So we will see. I would discuss what happened with Joe Biden, but that's already being run around so much. I mean, kind of funny that the mainstream media won't say anything about it, but what can you say? Trying to find something 2A related to discuss. Remember, we got Memorial Weekend going on this weekend, so think about all the servicemen and women who did not make it home. So take a couple minutes and just reflect, that we're free because they sacrificed their lives, you know. So, yeah. Michigan's got to be proud of their governor, who says that she's not going to negotiate reopening the economy and that she is going to extend it an extra 30 days. Huh. Think there's a little tyrannical government going on in Michigan? Anyone made it out to some ranges and had some fun? Our our weather is starting hopefully this weekend to turn around, so maybe tomorrow I'll make it out to the hills and do some shooting. Not quite sure. Well, it's I know the Second Amendment Foundation is going to be hosting some webinars. That's what Mr. Budget Guns and Gear was talking about last night. I think it's May 26th, 27th, and 28th that they're going to be hosting. And so I signed up to take it and see what it's all about. It's the Second Amendment Foundation and the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms are pleased to host a series of free grassroots training sessions run by Glenn Caroline. Glenn has joined SAF and CCRKBA as the Director of External Affairs. Most recently, he worked for the NRA for 29 years, primarily as NRA's Managing Director of Grassroots Programs and Campaign Field Operations. The first summit will be titled Grassroots Activism in the COVID Environment and will discuss steps you can take now to enhance your defense of the Second Amendment in our current times. So, nice. Mr. FNH said he had fired his 22 suppressed. So, I guess there's some pretty sick people out here in this this world. We had a mother down in Florida who claimed that two men kidnapped her autistic kid, and then they found the body of the child and arrested. So, Hollow Points last night was fairly quiet on my end. My wife was grilling. Yeah, there's still gonna be some sound coming out of that 22, but it's gonna be fairly quiet. Yes, I completely agree with you, Midnight. Yep, that is completely. And then another one that was kind of sad was, I know it didn't make national news, but it was back in my old hometown. We got the Glock hater in the house. Welcome, Mr. Rob D.
Welcome. You're in here by yourself, trying to brainwash the public?
Yep.
Yeah, he's got stock in Glock, people. He's got stock in Glock.
Yep. Hey, you gotta make that Skrilla somehow.
And sights. And Loctite.
All gun related. You gotta have sights. You gotta have Loctite to keep your stuff from flying down range. Actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. Forget to buy the Loctite so that your sights go flying down range and you gotta go buy new sights. I make more money that way.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to support big Glock or extra parts, and just buy a Smith & Wesson, you know.
Oh, you're still gonna, then you're gonna need extended mag release, some nice extended takedown. You're still gonna have to, get external, aftermarket parts.
Nah. Yeah, and I'll give it to people. Maybe the trigger. You might be so used to that Glock trigger that you just can't handle the little curve deal. So I'll give you maybe a trigger, but it functions fine with the factory.
Glocks function fine straight out of the box. Most of the stuff that you're doing aftermarket is just customizing it to make it, for yourself. You're never going to get that money back if you go to try selling it.
It's like getting a new pair of earrings or throwing that bracelet on. I know. Glock guys.
AR guys.
Match the shoes. It's got to match the shoes.
AR guys are the same way. Look at all those aftermarket accessories for all those ARs.
Wait a minute. They are totally different. That's 100%. That's an American gun.
So is Glock. Glock is made in Smyrna, Georgia.
Now it is.
It's been that way since like mid 90s that they started making parts and stuff in the U.S. But yeah,
Mac and cheese and ARs are on a different level. And matter of fact, you can throw 1911s in there too. That's just, you got a problem with any of those, something's wrong.
I don't own a single AR.
Well, we know something's wrong with you.
AK all the way. You gotta get that 7.62 by.
You boat in the driveway too, don't you?
I'm not gonna say if I do or not.
I seen one of those online. No lie. I think it was eBay or something. You can buy all types of stuff. Still got the turrets and everything. Doesn't come with a gun, but man, when you look at the cost of a new boat, like walking around your mall or something, it's a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal.
You can go and get you a what is it? I think you can get a Harrier jet on the aftermarket if you have a couple $1 million.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I wouldn't mind having a Harrier jet. I mean, you're never going to get anything to be able to like shoot out of it. You're not going to get any of the missiles or anything like that. But
I just don't like the takeoff and landing. Yeah.
You can get yourself a Russian MiG.
Yeah, we're talking. Hey, except for the Russian. Now we're talking.
No. We already understand.
I retract my previous statement.
Too bad it's out on the interwebs.
My phone was stolen. My account was hacked. It wasn't me.
Yep.
So what's going on? What's happening?
Not much. Hoping I get out to the range tomorrow. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Maybe I shoot some video.
Cool. Yeah, I was hoping to go today, but didn't make it. So it just stopped raining now. And by the time I got loaded up and everything, it'd pretty much be getting close to dark. So by the time I got out there,
yeah,
unfortunately.
Where I go, with the rain that we've had, the it's going to take a day or two to dry out before the roads will be passable to actually get in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going at dark, but unfortunately, there's a few homes not too far away, so and legally you're not supposed to shoot after dusk out there in New York, so kind of sucks. But private property is a whole other story. But
I kind of figure you're still under Gestapo rules where you have to be in by 9 o'clock or something.
Please, no, they released our stuff, so. But no, I've been cautious anyway, just because our area is a little worse than most. So I don't agree with what they've done in other places. I'd be pissed off myself. But I'm actually not even thrilled with what they've done here. But they've released restrictions on. We don't have a curfew anymore. So granted, not many things are open, but that's pretty much how I've gotten exercise, gone hiking, different things like that, work. But you can't camp at state parks or anything like that. And they have some weird rules about, going to picnic for this weekend. They're apparently putting tables in every other parking spot to try to make it so it can only be half the capacity and whatnot. So spread everybody out. But besides that, everything's basically been available. They haven't shut the parks or anything. I've been through quite a few lately, so great place to go and not be bothered by 100 people. So,
yep. Mr. Pancake Boy says Rob D G23 would buy the Harrier and put aftermarket sights on it. Yes, I probably would. You gotta get that tracking system.
Yeah, Midnight knows. Know about you guys.
I mean, we talk about that M&P or your Shield. Talk about, and didn't you put some TFX on there?
Yeah, yes, I did. But I'm cheap. I didn't buy the Pro Series with the night sights and all that. So my Shield, when I bought it, I paid $480 or something for it. When you can get them now for like $260. So it's a bit upsetting, but yeah, I did change the sights. But to be honest, I was more accurate with the factory sights. But to something to do with the size, I don't know, the blades or something, but the factory sights I was more accurate with. So, but these ones are nice, for the fact of ideal for what the gun I think is intended for, personal defense. So
yep, they're great for
conditions.
They're great for daytime. They're great for nighttime.
Yep. I was trying to do stuff you're not supposed to do with a Shield and having fun with it. We did a lot of challenges, long shots and stuff, and got used to that through these on, and it was a different world. But once you get used to it, it's not bad. But definitely not, bullseye or target sights, I would say. But.
So are you gonna get you a new slide so you can put a red dot on there?
No, I don't know. I'm iffy on those. I mean, I like them. Like for a rifle, that's different, something like that. But I don't know. I'm iffy. I like everything, kind of like high speed, low drag in a sense. So I'm bumping corners on stuff all the time. I'm just worried something like that's going to get busted, and the price I spend on it, or would have to spend on it, I don't know. It might not fit my lifestyle. But. It doesn't matter if I'm on a roof or working on a car or under a car. I'm always armed. So my guys
Sad,
go through a bit of abuse. So
sadly, our society kind of requires that we always have, you know, a firearm on us wherever we go.
yeah, kind of, yeah. And with the kind of luck I have, that would be the case. It'd be the day I'm just going to go for a walk in the park, and that's when I'll get stabbed and robbed for my cheap free Android or something. So
That 53 cents you keep in your pocket.
yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's sad. And one of my videos, I got a image of a pizza guy. Guy must be 60 some odd years old. Looks like a school teacher or something out there delivering pizzas, and he got jumped by I think 3 or 4, and they bash his head off the car, like messed him up pretty bad for a pizza and less than 20-30 bucks or something.
Yeah. Then
it's crazy.
There was a guy who went into a nursing home and beat the crap out of some old people.
I heard about that. I hate to say this, but why couldn't somebody try that shit? I mean, I'm not looking for trouble, but some people just need an asshole.
Yep.
Like, I dare you son of a bitch, or one of these rallies or so. I dare you. So that's what I tell people when they talk about their kids and things like that, or whatever, or bringing their wife. Like, I wouldn't worry about it. You're in pretty good company.
Yep. Because more people are going to stand up to defend.
Yeah. That's kind of the class of people. Like, it seems that way. Most of the we're not taking shit. So.
I see Mr. DM Foss finally woke up.
No, I went out to the mailbox and then got gossiping with the neighbor.
You can access StreamYard from your cell phone, right?
What? Yeah. I had to go out and get the book that I ordered after talking with Two Gun last week. I ordered the ABCs of Reloading.
Calaveras says, who hasn't wanted to mug a pizza guy? LOL. I have never had that intention.
Now, I've known of some kids that have lived in an apartment building that ordered a couple pizzas, and while they were delivering to one side, the kids helped themselves to the other pieces. But this is way back in the day, things like that. And obviously nobody was assaulted or anything like that, and I didn't personally take part in it.
Sure.
Let that be known. But you know what I mean? It used to be a thing, a gag thing in the small town I grew up in.
Used to take and prank people and call and order like 25 pizzas and have it sent to somebody else's house.
Yeah, that was a thing too.
Playing with my G23 right now.
Trying to get it to work?
Nope. Just dry fire practice.
So G23 playing with G23, is that you're playing with yourself? Is that what you mean?
Exactly.
Oh boy. If you needed some time to yourself, you should have just said something. Yeah, it's almost a little insulting that you're dropping the link out for the chat for anybody to enjoy it during that time period. That's just figured you'd be a little more picky than that.
Hey, you got to have onlookers.
So I'm in a pinch here. Got a dilemma. Got a problem.
Buy the Glock and just be done with it.
Oh, it's not a Glock. If it was that simple, it wouldn't be a problem.
Okay, let's hear it.
Somehow, I don't have dogs living in the city because I'm not the kind of person that goes around and pays to go pick up an animal shit. That's just not me. Nor do I want to go out 3, 4, 5 times a day in the winter right after work and all that crap. It's just not my thing. Uh, but I've always stated I've had a dog before, but I see it as a responsibility, not a toy like some people. And due to that, I haven't had one in the city. But come to say that I would have a dog, but it would need to be purebred Rottweiler, which held off the lady for quite a while. Well, now one of her friends has a bunch of purebred Rottweilers that we could have one for free.
Get one.
Yeah, but then I got to do work. I gotta pay for vet bills, everything else. What are the pros and cons here? What are the pros and cons?
Dogs are awesome. That's number one pro.
You got an extra security system. The con, what? Okay, you're going to have your initial shots. Then you're going to have some booster shots, which are probably going to set you back $60, maybe $100. And then if you are a responsible owner, annually, once a year, you're going to take your animal in for wellness checks, which is going to be, depending on your vet, probably $30 to $70 a year. And if you want, you can always get the pet insurance. So if by chance, something happened and your dog needed surgery or whatever, you wouldn't have so much out-of-pocket expense. Looks like we got Mr. Mario joining us. Hello.
All right. My other issue is the whole bonding. Now, to my knowledge, pets kind of pick a person, and that's who they bond with. Would that be correct?
It depends on the animal. Like some dogs will love everybody that they ever see. Some will just like guys, some will like girls. They all have their own personalities.
But how do I get a dog that just likes me?
Give him food.
Well, if
girls spoil all the pets, so every time something ends up being the case,
if you're the one
it's got to bait them with treats. So
if you're the one that gives them their food, and you do most of the obedience training and stuff like that, and work with your dog, the dog's going to build a stronger bond with you. Is the dog still going to listen to everybody else in the house? Yeah. But as long as you show that you're the alpha, because one thing dogs need is somebody, they need to know that they're not the dominant. You don't want the dog thinking that it's the boss of the house. So you have to immediately show that you are the alpha male. You have to be the leader of the pack. I used to have a 120-pound brindle pit in rot mix. And, he was as loyal as could be. I hardly ever had to leash him. I could walk anywhere with him, go down the street, whatever, and he'd stay right by my side. Another dog could come up and he would, he was friendly. He never tried to get into a fight or anything. but he also knew who was the one to give commands.
Yeah, another question. I assume you're dog people here. What is it now? Wow. Sorry, brain fart there. Horrible. Yeah, I lost it. Never mind.
You do have to think. Go ahead, DM.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
You do have to think about temperament, especially with a large dog.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I got it. That's what I was going to ask. How often do they stick to the traits? There was a reason I went with doing research this type of dog due to its traits, behaviors, trainability. They'll go down protecting your kids in a sense. But yet they're not yapping at everything coming by the door or something. So now, do dogs normally stick to their true traits when it comes to breeds, or is it,
They're you got about a 90%.
that's not too bad then.
They're pretty.
I was hoping it's not like a 50-50 or 60-40 or what I mean, something where.
I mean, you have the chance if the dog's inbred. Of course you're gonna get stuff like that. And then some dogs are going to be a little more stronger willed than others. But if the dog, you can tell as that it's a puppy. Along when you got your bigger dogs, your Rotties, your Pits, Huskies, Malinois, German Shepherds, and stuff like that. You want to make sure that you're socializing them, so they don't become dog aggressive. And if you're wanting something that's going to be like more protective, especially with like Rotties and Pits, if you let if you get a female and you let her go through one heat cycle, don't let her have pups, and then go and have her fixed right after that, she's going to get those motherly instincts and she's going to turn that towards your kids. And so she's going to become real protective of your kids.
What would you think's better, male or female? More likely to hold to their traits, or I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it becomes, what's your main goal with your dog? If you're looking
Friendship and a bodyguard for my daughter. I don't want any boy with the wrong ideas getting closer than 6 feet.
Are you going to do a lot of training, obedience training, agility training?
There'd probably be some, but to be honest, I don't know anything. So it would probably be research and trial and error by some rookies. So, just basic commands would be, acceptable to my opinion, for what I'm looking for.
Well, your number one commands that you're going to want to work on is heel, to make sure the dog's staying with you. Sit and stay. Because you want to be able to tell your dog to stay, and you be able to walk at least 5-6 feet away. And then, either verbal or with your hands signal that you want your dog to come to you. And have your dog be able to, come to you and, not go running away.
An important thing if you're going to train yourself is consistency. Stay on it, and do the same thing over and over. So they know what to expect and what's going on, rather than all of a sudden you're doing this, then you're doing that, and they get confused and don't know what to do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And only one person giving commands at a time. Not you're giving commands, your kid's giving commands, your wife's giving commands. You want to. Okay, I'm going to work with the dog, and so no one else is going to be giving commands. No one else is going to be calling the dog. Anything like that. Till you need to make sure you have it set down, because otherwise, if you're giving commands to your dog and I was giving commands to your dog at the same time, your dog's going to get confused. Who do I listen to?
Yeah, that makes sense as well. I'd kind of prefer it if it only followed family commands or something. I don't know. A word would be needed to be implemented in the command that goes with every command that's given, so it would throw up a red flag, or I don't know how that would work. So, and again, I might be hoping for more than my broke ass can handle. So
you don't have to try to make it like hard. Once you're training with your dog and everything, your neighbor, could give your dog a command. Your dog's not going to listen.
Yeah, that's what I'd be worried about, because people love stealing dogs. I mean, I was just on the porch, see 2 more missing dog ads up on the pole. Especially, anything rare or anything like that, people steal in a heartbeat around here.
Yeah. And you got to think, that Rotties and Pits are going to be your dogs that people are going to want to go after and try stealing, due to the fact that they can try turning them into fighting dogs.
Yeah, I don't agree with that myself. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even like the fact people buy them. I don't. I'm different, but I think they all got their own personalities and stuff, and I don't know. It's almost like selling people to me or something. It's weird. But I know it's not seen that way, and the government sees it as your property and this and that, but it's just I don't know. Yes, I'm softer on animals than I am people.
I have never bought a single animal, like bought breed. I've rescued some from the Humane Society. With my pit that I had, my pit Rottweiler mix that I had, I stole him from an abusive situation. So one of my neighbors down the alley was trying to turn him into a fighting dog, was kicking him and hitting him and, stuff like that. And so I jumped the fence, took the dog, took it to a vet, had him, examined and everything. Had the Humane Society and police department show up at my house, trying to tell me that I had to surrender the animal. And they knew I had possession of it. And I was like, I don't have possession. Look around my house. And I got a letter from the vet without the vet's, logo or anything on there, so that they couldn't say, okay, well, we're going to go seize the animal from that vet that said everything that was wrong with the animal. If he would have gotten kicked one more time, his bladder would have ruptured, because that's how hard he was being kicked. So
yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I don't know. I see it the same way as looking at somebody punching a toddler. yeah, I'm gonna have a real hard time sitting by with that. So, I don't really care for that.
Yep. I see Mr. G Webbs has shown up. Welcome, Mr. G Webbs. Mr. Blitz, guy that comments. So we are getting some people in here. Of course, we got the Tactical Pickle still here.
Well, I can't say it, necessarily help my decision, but it's some good info. So, still thinking on it here. Sheesh. I just get scared of the vet bills and everything. And around here, it's a little ridiculous. So, example, we took this stray cat to the vet when we found it. Couldn't get in anywhere. Had to drive an hour and change to go to a vet in another county so we could get right in. And after going through getting shots, a checkup, and everything, we had the yearly checkup, but we didn't go to it because we figured we'd find someplace here since we're not in a hurry at this point. And next thing you know, they called the animal police on us, and we got a call from them stating they want to know who our vet was. And it's not like the cat had anything; it was in good health, so it's not like it, I don't know, needed shots or something. I don't know, you know what I mean? So it wasn't even. It just blew my mind. It was almost like they were strong arming us to go sign up for, for something else, which is kind of strange.
So
I'm scared, get a puppy, get up to the vet, and then they tell me I got to pay $600 for this, and basically holding a gun to my head, and then I'm gonna be like, son of a, so, I don't know. Anything I should look for, make sure, check something, you know what I mean? I don't know, like. Yeah, should I be looking to I know this sounds gross, but would it be worth inspecting stool or something to make sure? And I know they do deworming and stuff, but is there anything that you don't want,
I mean, you're not going to really know if there's any super underlying medical conditions. I mean, when you can watch when they walk around, to make sure that you can see that they're not, like limping or anything like that. When you pick up, you can kind of move their, legs up and down to make sure that you're not feeling any like grinding and stuff. But in puppies, it's gonna be a lot more internal that you would, have to think about and stuff. But 9 out of 10 times you're not gonna have any problems.
Oh, I think if their eyes are clear and they're alert, you're probably doing pretty good.
Look inside the ears, make sure that they don't have any, like dark black earwax, because that's a sign of ear mites. But that can still be taken care of with medication. We got Mystic Guns in the crowd now.
What about allergies? Are allergies common? I had a friend with a dog that was allergic to everything. I mean, he spent more money on that dog than he did his new truck. But I literally had to re-topsoil the backyard, all types of stuff. Anytime visitors came and they had pets or this or that, the dog would sometimes get irritated. He had to go get the dog special shots. Is there something that, not that I want to put the dog in anything harmful, but is there anything that is common that is easy to check? Or
I mean, you're not really going to.
Is that a rare thing?
That's more a rare thing. Just like you're going to end up. Some dogs are prone to epilepsy, in their older ages, and stuff like that. Some dogs will get epilepsy, and so they have to be on seizure medications. But that kind of falls in, in your breeds, what kind of health, and you can research that kind of stuff online, what they're kind of prone to. I know that like rots and pits and some of your larger dogs are going to be more prone to uh, hip hip issues, especially if you allow them to become obese.
Yeah, I know that's a common thing with like the labs and whatnot. So I wasn't aware that that was also could be possibly an issue with the Rottweiler as well.
Yep. Yeah, hip issues can be with any of them. I see we got Miss Vanessa Kitty in the crowd. So, um, off topic. Who do you have for car insurance?
Me?
Yeah.
Progressive.
Oh, you might check with them because I know Geico offers pet insurance that you could add to your just regular, to your regular car insurance.
Okay. Yeah, I can check with I have a broker because of work insurance, so check with them as well to see. So maybe I can get something wrapped together or something like that if I was to do that. So on average, what does that normally run?
It's just a couple dollars. I think it's less than $20 a month or so. It's really cheap. I guess it all depends on what all you want for. Yeah, you can get more kind of things. Here, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. This is with Geico.
And I'm not a fan of Geico, to be honest with you. But I was with them for a while and wasn't really thrilled. And it seems like prices jumped around a little bit, which was odd. And then ended up going to Progressive, and they gave me a lot better of a deal. I was quite shocked. So I think people get in there and then they stay there. That's what my dad did the longest. And, they don't realize all the, other people are offering better deals later on in life, I guess. So, but, like I said, now with Progressive, I'm quite happy. And my bill's going down, not up.
Yeah, mine's been going down and stuff, and every once in a while I check and see if anyone's offering, lower insurance, but
There was a time I worked at a zoo, and one of the things I had to do was go to some stores that gave donations. I'd end up with all this dog food that I'd pick up, rip bags, all that type of stuff, bring back to the zoo, and they mixed it with hamburger and stuff for wolves and different things. But it was, we'd end up having so much of it. I used to end up giving it away to a couple people as well. So it was pretty neat. Some places do that. So if anybody's out there that I don't even think you have to be a business. I honestly just think you got to ask if they have any donations. Places like Walmart, things like that. Um, Normally they have a list, and if you can get on the list, you can go bi-weekly and pick up, things for an animal shelter or whatever you may have going on, pretty much for free. So, and there's times because nobody else would come in that they were literally rolling out shopping carts full of rip bags and dog bones and all types of stuff. Uh, Little tip out there. I mean, all you gotta do is ask. Never know.
Yep. Mhm.
See what I'm doing, right? I'm trying to think of how I could do this even cheaper. I'll just throw on one of my old work shirts and go up to the place and see if I can just jump in line again.
Yeah, there's a lot of like YouTube videos on like training, and especially like breed specific training. And stuff. And what to look out for. And you got to think about if you get a puppy, there's going to be a lot of chewing going on. So,
Yeah, that's a good
uh,
thing to keep in mind.
I'm not sure if Google Hangouts is back or not. I have not heard anything.
I heard they do have something, but they don't have the stream feature, I believe, anymore. Something. So they don't have whatever it is to get people in to invite people. So,
Hmm.
but they do have something up, and I don't know what it's exactly about or whatever. But I just heard that in the last chat. So.
I mean, I've opened up, you know, like my emails, and it seems like it's more for if you're on your computer, do you have the access to that kind of stuff? But mobile, you don't.
Wonder why they do that. Uh, a lot of people use mobile. I wonder why that's set up that way, even for work purposes. So seems kind of strange.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it costs them more money or something, or they just, you know, chose not to do that.
Yeah, who knows why Google does what half the shit that they do. You know,
I'm sure the puppet masters know.
Kingpin is saying check out Muscle Dog Mafia on the YouTubes. He knows a ton about dogs.
Okay, thanks, Kingpin.
And
I can't see the chat, so
he
hi
put a-
everybody. Apologize if you said hi. So
he put a link in there, so if you decide to go back after it's over and look in, it's probably somewhere around the 55-minute mark in the video that Kingpin puts out the link to the other channel.
it's what Mafia?
Muscle Dog.
Yeah.
That's right.
Let me see
Yeah,
if I can.
I've seen his name around in some of the other chats.
I say I thought I seen him as well in a chatter. There's two, so seems like 6 months ago or so, quite a while ago.
Nope, that doesn't work. So, yeah, it looks like a couple people say that Muscle Dog is a cool guy.
So if I watch, I don't know, a couple hours of his videos, will I be like the guy on TV that can just whisper to the dogs?
The Dog Whisperer.
Yeah.
Mm,
What's it cost to get to that level?
you send me $1 million check, and I will tell you exactly how to do that. Well,
I can send a check, but yeah. I don't know if you want to take it to the bank, but I can send you something.
hey, depending upon the state, some states would call that what's that? Defrauding a investment group or whatever. I don't know.
I'm sure they'd call it something in a newspaper. I'm sure they would.
Like Tactical Pickle says, that check has to clear first.
Pickle will loan it to me. He knows I'm good for it. Just a cool mill, man. No big deal.
I guess we're talking about what time it is in different time zones. We've got Gun Websites, who's on the correct time zone, 3:57 p.m. Then Central Time Zone, Eastern. So I see Mr. Carolina EDC has joined in the chat room. So,
you guys doing anything special tomorrow? Anything exciting this weekend, or not necessarily tomorrow, Monday?
I know that they're going to be having some F-15 flyovers in my area.
I'm going to work.
Some of us get nice weekends.
Yeah. Just curious, anybody's going to a barbecue, hitting a park, something like that?
Might check. I think the radio station's looking for volunteers to go plant flags at the VA hospital cemetery. So if they're still looking for volunteers, I may decide to go do that.
So it's a cool deal. And I got some chicken yesterday and some marinade. So looking forward to getting that on the grill.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, when it's marinated right and cooked on the grill, oh man, it's hard to beat. Hard to beat.
Mr. Carolina EDC says that he's going to flee North Carolina and go back to South Carolina for a couple days. Huh?
Warrant officers caught up to him. Giving away so much stuff, I knew there had to be a catch. Little did we know he worked at a sporting goods store. Mm-hmm.
So whereabouts in South Carolina are you going to be heading there, Mr. Carolina? Well, I don't know, Mr. G Webs. You got to think. Night Strike is in South Carolina. Joking. He's heading to Camden, South Carolina. I was in Simpsonville, outside of Greenville, South Carolina. Mr. Southpaw RX has a question for you, Rob. On your grill, gas, charcoal, pellet, smoker, or other?
Charcoal. It is a homemade, because that's my thing.
Okay.
It's a 55-gallon drum. That was a Harley Davidson oil drum. That basically I cut down and used a bed frame as basically a table. Kind of built the table, set the barrel in, and have two sides where I guess you'd say the table aspect, you can just lift from the bottom, pop out the sections to wash them or whatever. And let's see, I got like a 20 some odd millimeter wrench as my handle with a few sockets welded on. So I think it's kind of cool. And I didn't spend anything. I think I spent something for welding wire. That's it. So I already had high heat paint, so basically built the grill for pretty much free. So used to get those cheap ones that they sell at all the stores there for charcoal. It's got the little rack on the bottom. You can set something on. Of course you should, but they seem to always last a year or two at best and just be a pain in the butt. So
I see we got Mr. Clover Tech in the audience now. He says pellet grill. So a couple other people say charcoal or wood.
I'm a charcoal fan.
So if you're going to be a charcoal fan, now are you using a chimney, or are you one of those people that think you got to douse everything in charcoal lighter fluid to ignite it?
To be honest, I usually get like the match light. So, and I know people will say, "Oh, that's horrible," but it seems all right. So, yeah, I don't have the little chimney can thing or whatever you want to call it. I'd like to get one because I think it evenly gets the coals better. I think
It's so
that's for
nice.
fancy people. Yeah. So one day if I find one, I'd grab one. But
They're so nice, and you can actually build one pretty darn cheap because you know all it is like your pellet stoves or your wood burning stoves that are inside your house. If you just take one of the pipes that goes from the top of that to so that you can vent all that smoke out of your house, so you can pick up that metal that's already circle formed.
I know what you're talking about.
You could get that, and then just weld a solid piece of metal close to the bottom. You still want to give yourself a good 3 or 4 inches so you can stuff newspaper in there, and then put a handle on it. Light your newspaper. That's going to cause your heat reaction to set your charcoals onto flame and get them nice.
Yeah. Try to keep an eye out. Either come across that and make something or pick one up. So
Most of the time you can pick them up, dirt cheap, couple bucks, $3-4.
yeah, that's nothing. Yeah.
Especially if you wait till your off season, where all your summer stuff is going out of sale. And you can pick it up dirt cheap then. Or if you got like a grocery outlet or something, close by, they normally have them for like $3 to $5.
Cool. Gonna say when I camp, I use propane sometimes, depending what type of camping we're doing. But normally, I'd state we always go with charcoal. But there is occasions where I do use propane. So got one of those smaller Colemans that folds out type deal. That thing works great. So even out in the woods, I like to have my coffee so quickly possible. But,
Well,
obviously, backpacking or something, I'm not carrying that thing. But if we're driving to a site somewhere, then yeah, that's coming with me.
now do you use a French press?
I can't think of what they call it. It's a percolator. I don't know what's if that's the right word for it or not. It works pretty good. I've gotten used to it. Can get a little bit of grit in there or whatever, but that's part of camping. So it's better than doing a ranger shot or something where you're mixing up dry stuff and some water and just swishing it around. So it's pretty good in my opinion, even under the conditions.
Well, unless you have a Keurig, you're going to get, more likely than not, at one point or another, you're going to get grounds in your coffee. Even at home, if you're using a coffee maker and you're still using ground coffee, every once in a while, the grounds make it into the bottom of the pot, and you're going to get those in there. So, I see Screaming Skull is got to run, so and I'll make sure to say Screaming Skull Saloon, not Salon.
That would be an awesome salon, though.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, salon could have a biker theme and black aprons or whatever, the smocks, whatever you call them.
Yeah,
I can
where
see it.
I'm just throwing out new business ideas. That's all I'm doing.
I'm not sure where they do Sturgis, but it might be a good location.
Well, Sturgis would be Sturgis, South Dakota.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea. Okay.
Calavera says, when out hunting, I usually just boil the grounds in the pot of water and pour it into the mug and go. Okay, well, I guess that's one way of doing it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's one way. Yeah.
So Carolina, if you're gonna be down in South Carolina, make a little trip down into Fountain Inn and go see Dre and have him cut your hair. You gotta get a haircut by Dre. I used to go in every week, and it was kind of cool because when I would go in, he'd lock up the barber shop, and then he just cranked the music loud. So
Been many years since I paid for a haircut. State that. The last time I had to pay for one, I was pissed.
2013. 2013 is the last time I paid for a haircut, and that was in Fountain Inn, South Carolina, and had Dre do my haircut.
Yeah, the whole time. It's shoot. I think I was a teenager when I was paying people to do my hair or something at that point. Besides that, the only time it's ever been a thing is when he ran through basic training and they basically force you to pay somebody to do a crap job buzzing your head. Like it ticked me off, because I think they intentionally do a bad job. You know what I mean? But you're forced to pay them. And the way I see it is it just takes me off. Like, I have to use my money to pay that for a haircut I don't want. Like, I'd rather just buy a pair of clippers, but apparently you might kill yourself with them or something. So you can't do that. Like, it's just the stupidest thing. That used to take me off every week. Horrible.
Yep.
For me, it's easy. Just buzz away. So, like, simple and quick. High top days are over.
So Southpaw says 95. Shaved slick since by me. So I used to go in and I would get my head shaved and my face shaved. It cost me like $10 to get a hot lather and straight razor. You do that once a week. Not a lot of people still will use a straight razor, so it's always good when you can find somebody who will use a straight razor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time.
So I don't know if Dre still does it because, like I said, I haven't been there since 2013. Hell, Dre he may not even have his shop anymore.
Yeah. gonna say, I believe they used to have to pass like an exam by shaving a balloon with a straight razor. I
Well,
thought that's pretty dang. Yeah, that's pretty good. If you can clear the shaving cream off a balloon without popping it, that's some skill there.
that and you got to have $1 million worth of insurance and specialized cleaning equipment. So that's a reason why a lot of them don't do it, because you got to have the ability to, just like a hospital with scalpels and stuff. That's why a lot of hospitals have gone to like disposable scalpels. So they just open a sealed package, use the scalpel, and throw it in the garbage. They don't clean them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure liability insurance killed a lot of things.
Well, sue happy people.
Yeah, these dang attorneys, and they're ruining everything for you. Can't have any fun anymore. So, God forbid somebody gets a boo-boo. Sad as it is, when I had a trampoline in my yard, I printed out waivers. And I told other people's kids, "Yeah, you're welcome to hop on there, but your parents are going to have to sign this." So, because that's how bad it is these days. It's sad. I personally think they should just have stacks you can buy right there next to the trampolines, because it's cool if you don't. So everything's always cool until it's not, and things get expensive real quick.
But then you got to think about, so one of my main reasons why I'll never have a pool in my yard, like an in-ground pool or any pool, is so even if you have a fence around your backyard, your front yard, whatever, wherever you have your pool,
can pop through your yard, hop over your fence, drown, and they can still sue you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Or the neighbor's kids hop your fence. One of them injures
them, dog or something.
Injures themselves. Now you're on the hook for all that crap. It's like, nope. Nope. Even though it would be nice to have a pool, besides all the money you're going to spend on your cleaning supplies and all that other bull crap, it would be nice in one way, but then in another, it's like, okay, well, with all the extra insurance you have to have, with, everything else, it's not worth it.
Yeah. You got to run a power line out and everything. Usually got to get approval through code. Have your electrician, show what he plans on doing. It gets up there. Besides the actual water bill too. So depending where you're at, or even if you're out and you're pulling that out of your well, that's a lot of water at one time. I see them as problematic myself. So I don't really do the pool thing. The trampoline I didn't see as too big of an issue, but I was dumb. Didn't realize, it had a screen thing you can lock and everything. And sure. As soon as we left to go camping, forgot something, went back around the block, came back, and every kid in the neighborhood was in. I literally had to take it and chain it up and stuff. So parents are supposed to say, I don't care, but your parents got to be watching you. If you're a couple yards away, whatever, keep an eye out. I don't mean sit there at the rail, but
yeah,
they're responsible for you at that point. That's what they signed for, not me. So, but nobody does that. They just don't care. So I've had sliced up, broken into, and then storms came. I took out my neighbor's shed with my trampoline. That was horrible. So with me on it, so that was, a real tough guy flying through the damn air. So, yeah, not cool. Not cool.
Stay safe. Stay safe out there, Mario. Have a good evening. I guess Mr. Blitz is saying that they're having some tornado warnings in the Midwest. So y'all be careful.
Yeah, anything like a trampoline, I'd tie that thing down. I ended up getting those dog anchors that you pin screw into the ground. I use those and sandbags after, with the second trampoline. Let me put it that way. So, uh, you had to replace a gutter too, so it took out the shed and over to my other neighbor's house. Landed halfway on their roof. So, a lot cheaper to buy a few hooks or whatever, or even if you can, some concrete or something. But I don't know if you really want to do that to your yard, but you always pull it out later. But something. Those same things, they're serious. Once they get up and going,
Well, they do have
better
those.
hope it don't hit somebody's Audi or something. You got an issue. So.
They do have those concrete blocks that you can buy. That for like putting up a porch or a deck, where you can put your like 2x4s in there and then anchor through.
Yeah, definitely use something.
You could always dig a hole, sink one of those down in there, and then run a. Mr. Southpaw's asking if you got your G20 yet.
Nope.
No.
Still waiting on the background check. So, if nothing else, should be good to go by next
Tuesday?
weekend. Well, the 10 days will be up Friday, I think. So if we don't hear back by Friday, then they can release the pistol.
If they want to.
Well, they will. The gun shop I go to is real good.
That's because they know you.
Like Cabela's won't.
Yeah. That's why I kind of don't like going to big box stores.
So hopefully, I think my Marlin will be ready to pick up around the same time too. So hopefully I can get them both at the same time.
What Marlin did you get?
Just a Marlin 60.
Okay.
Is
that the standard wood furniture?
I went with the synthetic stock. I wanted something that I didn't have to take real good care of. If it got banged around, it wouldn't matter.
So, G Websites has an idea for you for your next trampoline.
I'm done with trampolines. No more. It's been gone for years. I don't plan on having another one. But I'll gladly hear the idea because, for other people, the more information I got, the better.
He says you can put a single 45 ACP tied to each leg, and the weight of all that lead will keep the children safe from flipping over.
Yeah.
Oh
boy. I don't know. He's got a lot of faith in 45.
That 45 AARP. I don't know. So, either one of you guys have an inclination of getting a 45 ever?
I want one. I thought about getting a 45 instead of another 10 millimeter, but the Glock was just kind of there, and I ended up with that. But I would
I'd-
probably. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I thought you were done.
No, I was just gonna say I would go with double action, single action instead of like a 1911 style.
As I said, I'd like I'd like to get one. So I've had one in the past, a long time ago. Should have never sold it. I was an idiot. It was like basically my first gun, so I ended up coming in and trading it in on I think the Shield because it was smaller to carry or whatever. So and basically, well, first personal gun or whatever. But and I took a beating on it, so I should have never gotten rid of it. But I'd love to get another one. I've always enjoyed it. I know to me, it's gonna sound backwards, and people always laugh about it, but for some reason to me, a 45 shoots smoother than a 9mm. I don't know what the deal is, but I don't see any difference in recoil at all. So maybe that's me. Granted, when I also owned a 40 caliber and shot a 40, I didn't see what everybody complained about either. So I don't know. But and I'm not a recoil stud or something. I don't know. Like shooting 12 gauge, I shoot a bunch of those. My shoulder hurts pretty bad. It is what it is. But so it's not like I'm not claiming to have special powers or anything, but I don't see much of a difference between them. So except for the ammunition cost, and so that's kind of why I jumped, into 9.
I don't know. I just kind of like that 40 round. I do want to.
I mean, I could definitely tell it's hitting harder. You could definitely tell, when you're shooting steel or something like that. But like I said, as far as the jump coming out of the gun, I haven't noticed much across the full size frame.
Yeah, I've thought about getting a 45 ACP, but I've got the Judge, so that's the 45. Colt. So thought about getting a rifle in 45 410.
Yeah, they're not bad. I don't know. I think they're, I can see a purpose for having something like that. So why not?
So yeah, maybe one day I'll get a 45 ACP, especially when somebody gives it to me. Or somebody, one of my friends decide they need a few extra bucks, so they offer to put up a firearm for a couple dollars. So I know, like here in Oregon, where DM Foss says they have 10 days. Here you go in, you get your background check, and if you get delayed, then it's 72 hours, 3 days, and then the shop can turn over the firearm if no one's heard back. So
Yeah, here you don't even have to wait really. You do, but you don't, depending what time of day it is.
well,
Go down, purchase it, and then I got to get a slip and run that to the sheriff, and then they sign off, add it to my permit, and then I run that back down. and then I can leave with my gun. As far as a handgun, long gun, it's just a next check and I'm out the door. But
Yeah.
I find it strange that in New York I could go within a day, but yet other places that are overall rated as better places, they have to wait. Strange stuff. And obviously, being a gun owner or whatever, I think once you're cleared, you should be cleared. I don't understand why
Yeah.
you're not going to commit a crime with the new gun, but you're not going to commit a crime with the gun you got on your hip. You're going to wait till you get the new gun to do so. It doesn't make much sense. I don't understand.
Like here in Oregon, here in Oregon, you can just go buy your gun and leave if you pass. But if you get denied, because back when all this was going on and there was so many background checks happening, and so people were getting delayed and getting delayed. So you're like, okay, well, it's taking after 72 hours. If they haven't heard anything back, the shop can then release the gun, no matter what.
I believe it's the same here as well. I think it's 3 days. So, and they can, but they won't. Most of them here.
I see we have Mr. Ghost Tactical in the house and Mr. Ozark Yeoman. And
Washington,
yeah, go for it.
Sorry.
Go.
I was going to say Washington used to be 3 days also before the 1639. And then when the FBI did the NICS checks for the state, you could be approved on the spot. But then 1639 happened, and then the FBI said they're not going to do courtesy checks anymore. So it has to go through your local law enforcement now. They're talking about streamlining it and going through our state patrol. So instead of going to either your local PD or your sheriff, it would go through the state patrol. But I don't know. It kind of concerns me. It just seems like a step closer to a registration to me.
Well, it is a registration in New York. I can tell you that. They basically force us to register with the state if you have a handgun or you're a felon. So you can do so at state troopers barracks or online. So yeah, I'd be concerned too.
Yeah. I was reading the chat. People are talking about, the 4473. Honestly, all that crap needs to go away. It's all unconstitutional.
Unfortunately, the Supreme Court said some of it's constitutional. I know.
I know.
It's not supposed to be, but they decided that a little bit's okay.
Well, that's part of the problem. You allow a little here, then a little there, and this and that. And next thing you know, it's like New York.
It's like California. So, what's everyone's opinion on that? The new proposal in California that if a new gun goes on the roster, 3 old guns have to come off the roster to replace it.
The whole roster is BS.
I don't know. What's to classify the old gun? Is it something you're going to even want? You know what I mean? For as far as self-defense wise.
So any say anything that's on the roster. So it could be a Glock Gen 3. It could be like a 1911. You know, and the thing is I doubt they're going to say, you know, if it's like a 1911, I doubt they're going to go by, okay, well, you know, all Colt 1911s are coming off the roster. They're probably just going to blanket it and just say 1911s chambered in 45 are off the roster. So now you can't own that in California.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with DM here. I'm not a fan of any of it.
Well,
Sounds kind of ridiculous to me.
I don't, I haven't really looked into the roster thing other than the bits and pieces I've heard. But the biggest obstacle the roster creates is the cost to get onto the roster, because a manufacturer has to pay. I forget, is it 100,000, 250,000, whatever it is per model. So Colt, say they've got 10 guns. Well, they would have to pay that for each gun to get it onto the roster.
Well, now they can't even get it on the roster without all new guns right now. For them to be on the roster, besides having to pay an exorbitant amount of fees to get on there, have to be able to microstamp in 2 separate locations. So what the new deal is okay, well, we're going to allow that to go down to a single location for microstamping. But for us to give you that, then for one new gun to go on the roster, 3 have to come off.
Well, that's one of the cases before the Supreme Court is the microstamping. One of the 10 cases that they keep booting farther down the line.
Well, if you look at like the New York gun bill, there was just got it was a moot point when they decided to hear it, because New York had already changed it. So, but they still ended up hearing it, and then decided, okay, well, we're going to render this a moot point and just kick it down the line. Well, it went to committee 3 times before it ever got heard.
Back to that roster thing. How is it okay to have to pay $150,000 for them to review a gun? I mean, that don't make no sense. I mean, what are they paying for? Yeah,
They're paying for the politicians to get a couple extra dollars in their pocket. That's all they're paying.
I was gonna say, I mean, if it's for like new forms that have to go out or this or that, I mean, you would think the state's the one that's bringing this burden. They'd be the one that's funding it, which kicks it back to the people, unfortunately. But it's ridiculous that a manufacturer has to pay to play. I mean, that's seems kind of, I can't think of the words for it, but I don't know, anti-equal opportunity or whatever, you know what I mean? Just because it's a firearm company. Why is that any different than a sneaker company? I don't, does Nike have to pay an extra $150,000 to sell sneakers there? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Nope. It's hopefully a lot of those California people, when this pandemic hit and they found out what all they have to go through to get that firearm that they thought was easier to get than, being able to go buy a piece of bubble gum at the store. They thought you could just go online and order the gun and have it sent right to your house. That's why they voted in all these,
Is California even still part of the U.S.? I mean, this is crazy.
Huh?
New York's horrible, but some of that stuff is just nuts. I think they've been taken over, and our government just doesn't want to tell us. It's embarrassing. But, I don't know. You want to call it snowflakes or whatever, but somebody bought that.
Hollywood? G-Web says New York started all gun control. So he's blaming you, Outcast.
California didn't have to be a follower. They could have set us straight years ago. According to Snapple Caps, apparently New York was the first to require license plates as well. So, yes, sounds like New York.
It's all about that. It's all about that money.
Yeah, even with the longer waiting time to get a gun in Washington, it's still fairly gun friendly because we've got open carry, and we're a shall issue for concealed carry.
Well, we don't have a 10-day wait here in Oregon, and we're a shall issue.
Don't have a 10-day wait anymore, and we're a shall take your money and we'll see.
I mean, you have your choice here for when you go to get your concealed carry. You have, you can either take an online course that's accepted by your local sheriff's department, or you can just go and take, a course at through one of the companies that offer, and then you take that paperwork in and give it to the sheriff's department along with your application, and pay your money, and then wait.
Yeah, I can't remember if 1639 put in a training requirement for CCW now.
Yep.
But it used to be when I got mine, I paid $50, or I think $56 because I paid a couple extra dollars to have it laminated. Then took like 2 weeks, and they gave me my CCW.
Yeah, now in Washington, you have to sign away your medical rights to be able to own a firearm. And if you want a CCW, you have to take a training course. And then you have to go, I think it's every 5 years, go and have retraining done.
Yeah, and there's for their assault weapons, which is any semi-automatic rifle. You have to do a training class, but there's a Sporting Systems in Vancouver, the one that Yankee goes to. They do a free online course, and then you can print out your certificate. But the gun shop I go to, when I bought my Assault 22 Marlin, they asked me. They asked me. Yeah, they asked me if I had taken the course. I said, yeah, but I forgot to take the papers. And he goes, yeah, don't worry about that. We just ask if you took the course.
It's just funny that a 22 rifle is long, or any rifle that accepts a magazine is considered an assault weapon in Washington State. I don't know,
New York. Anything that meets a few markers and takes more than 10 rounds. So basically, you can. I know a person that caught a felony for a Ruger 1022 with an Archangel kit on it. So it doesn't take much. It's pretty ridiculous.
It's very ridiculous.
When was the last time you heard a mass shooter with a 22? I'll wait.
You'll be waiting a while.
Right. I'm pretty sure that's never happened.
I heard a pretty good story about a soldier that went down in the Air Force that held off his position with a 22. Took down quite a few people, and apparently it was quite a thing. I wish I could remember his name, but received some medals and things like that. So I believe was injured, kind of laid out on a hill somewhere where the enemy had a rough idea. Whenever somebody got close, they'd pop him, and they couldn't tell where he was coming from because of it being such a small rapport and a 22 in a sense. So they had a rough idea, but apparently the guy battled it out for quite a while. So, and was eventually picked up and bring home. So it's pretty cool. Apparently he took out, I can't remember. I want to say like 16 to 30 people or something. Like he really raised hell on them. And apparently they were yelling and screaming and pain all night long. So it had quite the psychological effect too. So yeah, I wouldn't say a 22 is couldn't be used in a serious way, but it's definitely not the mass shooter's first choice by any means.
Yeah. Can you see your screen, Rob?
Yeah, I don't see anything besides some circles up here, but
Kingpin says, "Well, you heard it here, folks.
Oh yeah, okay.
New York Outcasts started all gun control. G-Web said so.
No.
It's in print. It's got to be true. It's in print. It's on the web.
No, that was before my time. I'm still arguing about it.
No. Can you feel the love now, New York?
Yeah, I feel it. I was going to say earlier, as far as New York, the process, I had to practice to do a video on that. And pretty much the quickest I can get it down to is about 17 minutes. So I would just say this is an extensive process that requires money, some lube, and a whole bunch of begging. So if anybody's interested, you got, half a day to listen to the process, go for it.
Yeah, I heard in November the new 4473 forms are supposed to go into effect. So it moves the gun information and the purchaser information all onto the same same side of the
page.
Paper. Yep.
Yeah, which I think is ridiculous because with technology nowadays, anything can be a camera for $60 off from the internet nowadays. Pens, buttons, almost anything. So what's to say they don't go snap pictures anyway? So I just don't like that idea.
No.
Yeah, they can be supervised the whole time or whatever, but it makes no difference. They could come in with a government clipboard that's got a camera in it for all you know. I just don't like it. I'm not saying they would do that, but I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't say they wouldn't. So
I'm gonna say they probably
don't like
they do.
the idea. So just don't see the point in making it easier for that to happen.
So I'll probably purchase any non-foot guns between now and then.
last I heard that wasn't even approved, but they were doing it anyway. So I mean,
Yeah,
get approved, or
I
can gun shops just say no, we're not doing this? It ain't approved. Too bad.
I heard I was listening to a replay of a chat, and Glimtech Arms was talking about it, where it's they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna start sending out the forms in July, I think he said, and then they go into effect in November.
Well, seems like we just get hammered a little bit more and more all the time. So I don't know. Yeah, definitely stacking a deck against us, in my opinion. It's odd because I'm a believer that I don't know why you wouldn't want your mother, grandmother, wife, daughter to be, whatever father have the means to defend themselves. I don't. Why shouldn't they have the chance to have an equalizer, as some would say? Especially nowadays, people have less values, respect. Stab each other for $20 type society here. I know it's not everywhere, but people tend to forget. Crime travels. So, how many times have we seen things on the TV where the neighbor's always like, "You never would have imagined." Well, that's society. So, why wouldn't you want your family protected? I don't understand. Yeah, realize it's not for everybody, but to be against that just seems like you're shooting your own loved ones in the foot, metaphorically. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yep. That they're just pushing and pushing. What they really truly want is no Second Amendment.
Yeah, the only thing I'm left with is they don't have the best intentions. In my honest opinion, because if you can't protect yourself, why? That's the first question. I mean, to me, I don't understand that. So you're not going to tell me these New York City police officers are better trained or something. You know what I mean? So give me a break. I mean, and even so, why do you have to wait on somebody else? I don't understand that. If you're a legal citizen or whatever the case is, every human has a right to self-defense. I don't know. So,
The Supreme Court ruled that the law enforcement had no responsibility to protect the average citizen.
Yep, yeah, I'm aware of that. Which again, so why do we put our faith into that? That makes no sense. You would think people would value their loved ones more than that on both sides.
Yep. You would definitely. You would think that people would think life is worth protecting, but a lot of people seem to think, well, all you need is a cell phone and the ability to, get a hold of 911.
Yeah, but that's the world some people wish they lived in, but that's not reality. And I think that's a problem with a lot of these senators and stuff. They don't live in our neighborhoods. They don't travel where we travel. Yeah. I bet you, if I even parked my work truck on their street and just sat there to eat my lunch, I'd probably get harassed or bothered. You know what I mean? So I don't. It's different worlds. We're not all in this protected class or live in the nicest neighborhood in town. The mom that's working 2 jobs, walking home at night. Why can't she have that protection? You know what I mean? Again, it doesn't make sense to me. But
it's just yeah, I try not to rant here. In socialism, the individual doesn't matter. It's the collective and the state control of the collective. People are resources. So
we shouldn't let it be.
It doesn't matter what happens to you. as long as you're out in the pasture producing. And I don't want to turn this into a conspiracy chat. So
Is it really a conspiracy though? I mean, they're not there legally to protect you, and in some places they don't want you to protect yourself. So, somebody breaks into your house and trips and falls on your stairs that weren't the code, you get sued. I mean, what is this really turning into? So, I don't know if it really is a conspiracy.
Well, it goes back to, so in the 90s in Seattle, Washington, there was an elderly guy and neighbor kids broke into his house and robbed him and, threatened him and everything, beat him up. He called the police and they showed up and, everything. And then the very next month, when his Social Security check showed up again, the same kids tried breaking into his house. And it had happened a couple months in a row. Well, finally he said, screw this, and he went and got him a shotgun. And again, the kids broke into his house and he shot him. And they told him,
what's wrong with that?
They arrested him with premeditated murder.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. Yeah, and did he called the police, filed the police report when they broke in and this and that initially?
Yep.
And police did nothing. And
yep.
That's
three times.
Garbage.
3 times. He told him who the kids were, everything. And, he said, hey, they're going to do it again. They already said, we'll be back next month.
Did he actually get, was that how it turned out? The end of his case? Is that what he ended up getting charged with? Or,
he got charged. With? He got charged with 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder. And
see, I could see them, somebody bringing that as a charge, but it's hard to believe that an attorney, I don't understand how
when
he got charged or convicted.
He got convicted of 3 counts of reckless discharge of a firearm within city limits, resulting in an extreme bodily harm.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yep.
I don't know. In cases like that, it's I don't know. All right, well, I'll just don't say nothing.
So it goes to point, you try to protect yourself, and he was a guy who, tried doing everything right. And finally, when he said, you know what, I'm just going to have to protect myself. And that's what, I think got him in trouble is he actually just said to the, the police, fine, I'll just protect myself. I'll get a gun. And so they said, okay. So.
Well, things like that are a shame. Again, I don't think us as people or a society should ever be allowed to be the case. But
no,
fortunately, it is.
And
I personally see it. Abuse on an elder person is a more serious crime. You know what I mean? It's the effects that can be. I don't know. I think people watch TV and think you can just beat on people with baseball bats and they just keep going and stuff. In real life, it doesn't work that way. People are actually pretty fragile. So, and you know, objects, things like that, or beating on older people like that. You know, a fall to a younger person is no big deal. To an older person, that could bust her hip, start a chain reaction of things. That's just, you know, the quality of life they're going to be able to sustain after that. I don't have any mercy for people like that. If you're that type of person, let's not even spend the money just to put you in jail. Let's just take care of it now. But
Yep.
me. So I don't
Exactly.
know. And some old people are really prick. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some, you know, you might want to do so, but I'd never do anything towards it on purpose. Some of them, boy, ooh, geez. Yeah,
So
but you can't do that.
my wife told me to tell you guys about her a situation that happened with her. She had a peeping tom, and she had called the police and like I think notified, you know, told them, you know, who the person was.
I didn't know that they did.
Oh,
He was well known in the neighborhood.
he was well known in the neighborhood for being a peeping tom.
They wouldn't even come out and talk to us.
And I guess they didn't want to come out and talk to her or anything. And she finally said, you know what, I'll just get a gun. And I'm going to shoot him if if it happens again. And then they threatened to arrest her. Hey, if you do that,
They told me they were going to arrest us.
then we're just going to, go ahead and arrest you. But she got the gun anyways.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But you know, some things, to me, you know, some things are worth the risk, I guess you could state. So I think we all have lines where there may be some things where we would proudly sit in jail, especially being a parent. So when it comes to certain things with your kids, you know, you just try to avoid those situations. Yes, but you know, you shouldn't have to take abuse off, you know, things like that, not to be able to defend yourself because of a charge or whatever. So that's
Yep.
every person's decision. But you know, I'd rather die with self-respect. I put it that way.
Yeah, that happened before I ever knew her. But I think she got herself a little 22.
You sure it wasn't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty darn sure it wasn't me.
Trying to get an early preview.
Hey, you know, window shopping before you.
That's crazy. That reminds me of something. There was a guy turned out to be a judge that was breaking into his neighbor's house that had a young daughter and stealing their underwear. And come to find out, they got him on camera and stuff. You know, nailed him, but it turned out to be a big ordeal because he was a local town judge there. You know, that's crazy stuff. It's like I said, you know, that goes back to people would say you never suspect. Well, yeah, I don't know. To me, I get more worried about people with money because the people I've worked for and dealt with that are very well financially off, they just tend to think they own stuff. Like they literally will walk in front of people in the bank and just cut right in front of you. The teller deals with them because they have that much money. Everybody treats them differently, you know.
Yep.
I don't know. That concerns me with people like that. So other people envy it or get starstruck. I start wondering who you ripped off or what's your angle. Makes me nervous. Like,
if somebody tries to do that, if I'm at the bank and they want to try cutting in line, I'm like, you know what? Get the fuck in the back. just turn around and go.
Well, I mean, it's this one guy. He don't care. He'd brawl with you right there and be happy to do it. Like, and then he'll get bailed right on out and not give a damn. Like the guy at the phone store cursed him out. He laid the kid out right there. I mean, with the phone store deal, I kind of get it, but still, you know, would I have laid the kid out? No, I'd be in prison. But him, you know, wife came down, picked him up. He was right out the door later. So it does like.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
it's a different world. Doesn't care. We'll hit your car, laugh, and just drive away. Call the cops. You don't care. Take my license. I don't care. They shut my buildings down. I don't care. Like, you know,
yeah,
they
but
don't care.
the people like
it's a different class of people.
the people like that care about one thing, and that's what gets hit in their pocketbook. So when you sue them personally,
But
when you
a lot of them don't. They have enough money. It doesn't matter. Like they'll pay it just to be stubborn and not even care. Like, you know, I've seen some really weird things.
you know, but Mystic says that she'll leave her blinds open for Kingpin because he's admitted that he likes to be a peekaboo.
Oh God, that's a bad rap, Kingpin. That's a bad rap, man. You just got added to so many lists. That's not good, man.
And Midnight called him out, said probably a peeking Kingpin, and Kingpin's next comment was peekaboo. So, and then Mr. Faust says that he leaves his blinds open, but nobody will peep on him. Well, Maryland's quite a ways away.
Be careful. You make your coffee with your boxers in the morning, and the neighbor looks in and thinks you're not dressed. You know, around here, you're going to get a ticket or charged for indecent exposure or something. So, it all depends where you live.
When I was in grade school, there was a apartment complex, and there was a lady that would shower and leave her blinds open in her bathroom.
Was she good looking?
I never saw her, but all my friends did.
Come on. I almost had it.
Midnight says Kingpin peeked on the gun stop once. His pants haven't fit right since.
Oh, man.
Buck says, make sure Snob's not coming out of the shower at Kingpin. So somehow Kingpin's become the little...
When I was like, I think 8 or something, we had a family move in next door, and I'm not sure what they were. They were, I think, Laotian or something, but they had a daughter or whatever, and you know, I ended up being invited to come over, and I was hanging out, and it was her and her mom. And her mom used to walk around with these jeans with rips all over it, like her butt cheeks were hanging out. And man, I was even as a young kid, I admired that. I was like, man, it was pretty cool, man. Might have started my hormone engine a little bit.
I hear somebody's playing with a firearm in the background.
Oh, sorry. No, that's Mike Kershaw.
Oh.
I didn't realize it's making that much noise.
I was thinking somebody else decided that they were going to do some dry fire practice.
It's just wiping the blade down.
You got to make sure that you unload your firearm before you shoot your TV.
Just ask Honda.
Oh,
just make sure your camera's on before you accidentally shoot something. We don't want to miss that.
Obnoxious shot his wall.
Yeah, Honda 720 shot his TV.
That's crazy. I dealt with firearms for a long time, and to this day, I still never had a negligent discharge. Knock on some wood here, but I think that, to me, it just seems crazy. I don't understand what people are doing sometimes. I guess things can happen or whatever, but, and for the longest, I slept with a gun underneath my pillow. So, I've always, not always, but it's just, I've never had that issue. I don't understand.
I came
I don't know.
close. I came
mean-
close about a month ago. I had a bad habit of pulling the trigger to lower the hammer with my thumb, and I lowered the hammer about halfway, and it slipped off my thumb, but it was far enough down it didn't set off the round.
Somebody got lucky.
Very lucky.
So
Maybe it's something to do with hammered fire guns. Maybe it's more likely. I don't know. I had one for a while, but I ended up, long term carrying always striker fire. So
does anyone ever practice shooting with like their middle finger instead of using their index finger?
I haven't. It's probably a good thing to try it now and again.
I've played around a little bit, but not consistently or anything. Mainly on a consistent aspect, I'll do a little bit of offhand shooting, but that's basically it.
I definitely drill doing offhand, but I'm ambidextrous. I can use my left hand and my right hand.
You can yank it with either hand.
Yep.
That sucks, man.
Yeah,
I had a
midnight.
bad joke, but it's not. I'm not gonna go there. Never mind.
Midnight said he had it happen. He's deer season walking with his 30-30 with a hammer back.
That sucks. I've been around other people that have. I can say that. But luck, and that's scary too. Obviously, especially if you're standing on shell and somebody puts a round in the ground of a group of 6 people. But
I saw it.
Everybody's catching a little bit. I'll put it that way. But thankfully, I haven't had that myself yet. But
I saw a guy negligently discharge his revolver at the range. That was back when I was in Washington. And I was like, yep, it's probably the reason why I don't like going to the ranges. I'd rather go play in the mountains where I'm by myself.
state. I've also been on several roofs, like thousands of roofs, over years. And I've never fallen off a roof. I've fallen through a roof, but never off a roof. Maybe I just get lucky. I don't know. But I'm sure luck runs out at some point.
I was when I was in my teenage years, I wanted to make some money, during the summer. And I decided to, go to work with one of my mom's boyfriends at the time who was in construction. So I was up de-shingling a roof and marking spots on, that needed to be replaced. And I had headphones on and I had a Discman, so I was listening to music and everything while I was doing it. And
What brand?
I had a
you
Sony.
were working. You were clearing them by hand, right?
Oh, I had a
not by hand, but a tear-off tool, a hand tear-off tool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're getting in on it. I'm shocked. You must have had a good brand, or else it must have been skipping and skipping and skipping. Those things used to be sensitive until near the end of the technology, it seems, unless you had a nice Sony or something like that.
I had a Sony Discman with
Me too.
the anti-skip button, so you could push the button to lock.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead. It's just nostalgia there. Got me thinking.
So, doing all that and everything, and the foreman came up on the roof, and I was using a nail gun to replace some of the more rotten boards, and I had put a couple X's where I was going to put nails. Well, wasn't paying any attention, and I nailed his foot to the roof.
Oh my God. That's so messed up, man. That's so messed up.
Did you tell him? You tell him wait here while I go get help.
We used a cat's paw and pried the nail out of the roof, so I left it in his foot. He went to the hospital.
You were sheeting, so you're talking like a 2-inch nail, something like that, or were you running like full size framing nails or something?
We were running full size because we were replacing the
wire coil nails or stick nails.
Yeah,
either or, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
so
you're getting the metal burr and everything. Yeah, that's nasty. Dude, I'd be pissed.
We had taken the safety off the nail guns so that you could actually just pull the trigger before not having to press it down.
Oh my God. You're lucky.
Well, it went through the meat.
Somebody would have tried to kill you or something like
that. It went through the meat of his foot, missed bones and stuff. So he kind of got lucky there. He gets back from the hospital, and explains, hey, it just went through the meat of my foot. I'll be okay. I had to get a tetanus shot and everything. Well, he got up on the roof again, and he stepped in a rotted spot that hadn't been marked and went through the roof. That was a horrible day for him. So that was kind of funny. I laughed my ass off at it.
Yeah, I've known quite a few people with some injuries, things like that. Had a new kid that holding onto a 2x4 and put a framing nail right through his hand, and then very politely came up and asked if he could take off to go to the hospital, which was pretty funny. So I was like, yeah, somebody's gonna drive it, It was hilarious, farm kid, shows you a nail sticking out of his hand like that, and you're like, holy crap, yeah, you don't have to ask for that. Tough kid, man. Seeing a guy get ran over by a bulldozer, that was bad. Playing King of the Hill, 2 temporary guys on the site, messing around and playing and stuff. Yeah, they got lucky it was soft ground, so believe it or not, I think the guy got to keep his leg because he had a leg go under. So, but thankfully the ground was soft enough that it didn't just completely pancake it. So, still wasn't pretty. And lots of people falling off roofs. You'll be right there talking to them. Gone.
I fell off the roof. It was winter of 96, 97 back in Washington, and we had to get out and shovel the roof because of how much snow we were having. It was a horrible snowstorm.
Yep.
And I was shoveling the roof off and everything. Well, I found ice on the roof. So as I shoveled the spot, I stepped on ice and I went sliding right off the roof. Luckily, it was just a single-story house, and there was enough snow. Plus, we had piled up more snow, so there was a nice berm. But I landed, and when I went through, I landed and just packed that snow right against my nuts. I was singing soprano. That was not very fun.
Yeah, no, it's never good. drilled holes in my hand. That was a little funky. So try to corkscrew your skin back in. Yeah, that's rough, but never lost a finger. That's a good thing too. You know, a common thing that people in this race end up doing. So thankfully, I've still got all my fingers.
So far.
Yeah, I think some people just get complacent. You know, you don't think about it, or you're thinking 2 steps ahead about what you got to do next, and then and then you got a problem. So always better to focus on what you're doing when you're dealing with any kind of equipment like that. So, I mean, honestly, even a decent mixer, you know, the females and stuff, you don't want to get your hair caught in something like that. It ain't going to be pretty, you know.
Buck says, if God wanted me to go that high off the ground, he would have given me wings.
The height isn't the issue. Just don't fall, you know. You try some of these churches and stuff. Oh boy, like,
it's
know,
not.
ridiculous,
It's not.
but just don't fall. That's the key.
It's not the fall that's going to kill you. It's never the fall. I don't care if you fall from 3 feet or if you fall from 300 feet. The fall is not going to kill you. It's that sudden stop at the end that will get you every time.
Yeah, and you're always fired before you hit the ground. So remember that. I've been clocked with burning strips blowing off a roof, coming down, clocking me in the shoulder. That wasn't good. Seen another guy get hit with a piece of facial, metal facial. It basically goes up over the very outside of kind of under most people's gutters or whatever. And that slid off a roof, drip edge. Where it comes right down and will stick right through the ground, like stand right up. One guy got hit with a piece, sliced his arm, like really bad, cut through a bunch of stuff. You know, a lot of weird things. Yeah. Doesn't take much. And most of the falls I've seen, seems like I've seen people go off roofs, this and that, pretty much be okay. But on a 6-foot step ladder, like they got to be taken out half conscious. It's like amazing. It's like, it almost seems like the little falls, you know, it's more on how you land than really the distance. So, people carrying sheeting up ladders, trying to save it. Like when the wind catches it, just let the sheet go, man. Like, it ain't worth it. You know, you gladly take a sheet out of your pay or, you know, off the job than be laid up in the hospital for 3 months and God knows what and can't even work. It's ridiculous, but you know.
Last night on the news, they showed a guy who was coming down a ladder, and I don't know if he stepped wrong or what happened, but next thing you know, you just see him falling down the ladder. I do not know how he did not like shatter his leg, you know, or because one of his legs went through between the 2 rungs and got like pinned. So, you know, and as he was flipping back, you know, he goes, I don't know how I
ragdolled down the ladder. Ragdoll just tumbling down. Oh God.
But he had one leg that actually went in between 2 rungs, and you watched his leg bounce off. You know, and you're like, how did he not get hung up? How did that leg not get shattered? You know? And stuff. But he got knocked out when he hit the deck and everything. And yes.
I've seen people hit muscle failure doing push-ups. So you're looking at like a foot and a half off the ground, whatever your arm span is, hit the ground and just be knocked out cold. Like I'm telling you, I think it's really to do on the fall. So, you know, when you think back, you know, I'm sure it hasn't been lately, but probably all back in the day when we were kids, we'd jump off roofs into piles of leaves or snow or something like that. Where nowadays you're like, nah, not unless my life depends on it. But I assume as you get older, the shock affects you more. You don't recover as well, and it does depend on the fall. So.
Got to plug in. I just noticed that my battery's down to 5%. If I don't plug in, the channel will go on forever and I won't be there. Okay. We're charging now. So to answer Mr. Warsaw Patriot's question, AKs are definitely damn good rifles. That 7.62 by 39.
Great for the Russian and Chinese. That's what it. I like AK too. I think they serve a place. If I could, if there was money wasn't an issue or stocking ammunition or whatever, I see a purpose for both, honestly. So
I don't know, that 7.62 by 39 round, when the 5.56 and the 2.23 were just going up not that long ago, it pretty well stayed flat. It didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't go
I
up.
just mean like mission purpose or whatever. I could see a role for both, which would be, not a non-issue. In my opinion, close engagements like a defense or something like that. An AK would be ideal if you're traveling, trying to, worried about distance and time. I think an AR basically. So depending what position you're playing, I would like either or. But again, and obviously what climate and different places and things like that might play a little factor to it. But is it something I'm going to bury somewhere in a not a bread bag, but a garbage bag and come back to it 3 months later? I would rather go with the AK, but I don't know. And obviously 3 months may not be a big deal, but
I don't remember who did the video, but there was a video just less than a week ago
3 months wouldn't be a big deal.
Where he took an AR-15 and he took an AK and he stuck it in like a big old cooler with dry ice and he froze it like overnight, froze both guns overnight, and then took it out and decided to try shooting them. And the AK, he was having some problems getting it to chamber the round, but then he finally got it to chamber. After a couple butt strokes to the ground, he was able to get it to be able to chamber that first round. Then it ran smooth. And he tried doing the same thing with the AR, and he just couldn't get that AR to run. After he froze it, he had to wait. Like the firing pin froze, so it wouldn't even. He was getting light primer strikes, so it wasn't even setting off the rounds.
I can believe it. The AK tolerances are so loose.
That's what she said. Oh.
Yeah, there's some girl out there with the name AK that's really pissed off right now.
Oh. 5.45 by 39.
Yeah, I mean, I look at guns as tools. I think they're all ideal for different purposes. And then you have your general, like, good all around for a handful of things. So, and due to, finance and stuff, so I'm still at the point where I buy firearms for purpose in a sense. So, at some point, I hope to be able to start collecting things like the revolvers and stuff, but I honestly see them more as art. To me, historical and art, more of a fun thing, not necessarily something I'd want to take out to get scratched up or anything like that. So.
$200 round of 5.45 by 39 FMJ 59 grain Golden Tiger, non-corrosive, is $55. 1,000 rounds will cost you
That's
$259.
brass or aluminum, or I mean, brass or steel. So I think one of those bears are all steel. I thought silver was the steel.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, that's not a deal breaker for some people, but with the difference in price, even as cheap as I am, I always just run brass. I guess if I own an AK, I would probably run, because that AKs are known for that or whatever. That's what they're, to my knowledge, what they were pretty much made for. But, other than that, I just run brass. So
AKs will eat anything. Steel, copper, they'll just eat it all. They don't care. Yeah, you can pick up 30 rounds of 5.45 by 39, 60 grain Silver Bear non-corrosive for $9.
I still can't buy ammo here in New York. Stores are still closed down and all that stuff. I'm glad I'm not one of these people that just buys a box and calls it good, because I'd be so stuck right now. It's amazing.
Yes, I definitely agree with Warsaw. He says that people that are putting optics out on a quad rail on an AK, you can get a different dust cover that goes on the back that has a Picatinny rail on it, or most of your AKs have slots on the side where your an optics mounts to.
Yeah, they're getting better with the AK, to my knowledge, but still kind of expensive from what I've seen. And some of the stuff, in my opinion, is a little goofy, honestly. And, it's not something that's just guaranteed to fit either. So it's kind of, it seems like you're paying more for something you got to mess with that might work. That could work out. I don't know. Yeah, I got a friend that's pretty heavy in the AK stuff. He's, in his opinion, paid a lot of fool's tax trying to get things to be set up so they're functional and usable, that's actually going to hold without going to the biggest, top brand manufacturers forever.
Mr. C4 Defense has jumped in, and he says AKs are made out of old shovels and railroad spikes. Steel case is like dessert to them.
That's probably true.
Midnight. Just get you a different aftermarket dust cover that'll fit on there that has the Picatinny rail on the dust cover. You don't have to pay somebody to add anything to the side of your gun.
Bust your Dremel out and your duct tape. Sorry, I was with it.
Hey, duct tape and baling wire sometimes is all you need.
No, it just sucks that it does seem to be that way with AKs, where you got to be real careful. So somebody just jumping into it, boy, they got a big surprise coming. I think order a bunch of stuff, and then while you're waiting for your gun, and go pick your gun up, and then try playing with it.
Oh, Warsaw says you ain't my dad. Don't tell me how to run my rifle.
How old's Warsaw? What state was he born in?
Pennsylvania.
I don't know, buddy. No.
Exactly. You got to run it how it suits you, but
that's definitely what works for you.
Everyone's gonna
but
bust
you
your
still
ball.
need to be serviceable. I think the idea of an AK or an AR is you don't need tools to you have an issue with it. So I don't like a lot of the things with the AKs that want to block the top dust cover. Or they kind of have a pivot, but it's really wonky. I mean, how do you like I said, some of it I'm sure is good, but you're really paying. It's not like an AR where you can, go down to Walmart or something and buy something that'll fit on an AR. I mean, anything off eBay or whatever. I'm not saying you should, but I'm just saying, it's a difference.
I'm wondering if Mr. Gizzard has had a beer or two. He's combined Warsaw Patriot and Midnight Range TM to call it Warsaw Range TM.
You might be doing that because
out there.
That might be because the what you read was what Midnight said, not what Warsaw said.
Yeah, so G23 was the one that's drinking, huh?
Oh. C4's got my back. He says Gizzard's hitting the sauce.
For that Jack Daniel barbecue sauce. You like the taste of that? You ever tried it?
No. I don't think I have tried it.
I've tried it, didn't care for it. I don't know what to do with it.
If I want that,
I swear by it.
I would go with. Oh crap! Now I'm drawing a blank. Of the brand of barbecue sauce that I like. Oh well, if I want to have Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce, I'll grab barbecue sauce and I'll pour my own Jack Daniel's in there. I'm not sure about that one, Mr. Warsaw. He's saying about the AK-12. Oh, is that 12 gauge AK?
Yes, I think so.
The KS12 is the Kalashnikov KS12 is a 12 gauge.
Yeah, I almost bought one of those. It was years ago, and when I went down to the store, I was looking at it, and it was more than I wanted to pay. But so I was thinking about it, like an idiot. Left, came back the next day, and a local police officer brought it up. I was ticked, like ticked. Uh, and right after that, they had where the Safe Act kicked in here. So basically, that was my one chance to get it, and a cop bought it because I waited. So it's not the fact that he's an officer or something; it's just the principle. Somebody else got it. Oh man, that's one of them things. You want
Yeah,
it? Don't wait. Just put money down. Do something. I just wanted to make sure I wouldn't be stuck sleeping in my truck.
I don't know. I'm looking up
Well,
the AK-12 right now.
yeah. When I bought the G20, I wanted to look at their shop had a KS12, and I wanted to look at it, and I probably would have bought it, but it was gone when I got there.
I mean, look at
Yes. Don't get me wrong. I've heard mixed reviews on them, but I still wanted one.
That's what I was asking G-Webs about them, and he said but they're just cool looking.
that is a pretty nice.
Sweet baby Ray's.
Sweet Baby Ray's is what I use. I knew I kept the wife around for
I
something.
use that too.
I knew I kept the wife around for
It's
something.
good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah, I honestly just love shooting shotguns, 12 gauge or whatever. So the way I seen it, it was quicker, more rounds at a quicker pace, basically. And this was, I believe, before the KSG came out. And when they came out initially, there was some pretty mixed and funky reviews on that as well. So, yeah, I liked the idea of the platform and being able to get on it pretty quick. So, I don't know. 12 gauge is fun. Sometimes you just need to blow off a little steam, blow the crap out of things. So, especially new shooters, when they try a 12 gauge or something like that. It's hard not to get a grin on your face, that when it's done properly. Obviously don't give it to somebody that's not expecting it, but somebody that can handle it and stuff. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't get a grin or have a little fun. So kind of like, sitting in a nice car and you're vibrating in the seat. It's kind of hard not to get that little kid grin going on. So. And very universal as well.
Yeah. I like playing around with the KSG because you can. The one thing is you can go through a hell of a lot of ammo real quick with that KSG.
I like the fact that you had the selector tube, so instead of doing like a cocktail, you can, run one, whatever number 4, and run one double out buck or slug or whatever. You know what I mean? You have that option, which is, I like that. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can run slugs down one tube. You can run, birdshot down the other, or you can run, whatever you want.
Yeah, I think it's a little strange how it has the tab in the back like that. So I think, obviously with a little practice or something, it wouldn't be an issue. But
It's actually it's super super nice because if you with that pistol grip, and you're running that bullpup, so you can keep your thumb straight up on your selector switch, and make sure you chicken wing, because otherwise you can end up getting that brass bouncing off your arm. You get those spent rounds bouncing off that arm, it'll tear you up. I've seen videos of people that didn't, and next thing you know, their arms just bleeding because of the hot shells bouncing off of it.
yeah,
You can keep your thumb up on that selector switch and just rack through that thing, and then just quick flip that thumb and keep going.
yeah,
One guy-
it is a serious thing. Getting caught with your rounds or something. I guess playing around is not too big of a deal, but I can see that being an issue. So, I know I've got quite a few burns due to having to wear a neck guard for a long time. Rounds get in and they're just, if you're gloved up and stuff, it's hard to get them out. Like, you start wanting to dance, that's for sure. So,
Yeah,
or just bite down and grin it out. But it's kind of those videos where girls are shooting with the low cut shirts and the rounds are just popping in, and it's like, oh my god, that's gotta suck. Like, oh, you idiot. Like, yeah, you're real cute now, aren't you? So.
or out shooting in a bikini.
Yeah, yeah, not very smart.
Well, whoever took him out shooting should have said, hey, you're gonna regret that decision. Should have tried talking him out of it. I mean,
Yeah,
it looks
most
great.
guys don't talk girls out of not wearing a bikini. So yeah, I get what you're saying, but it takes one heck of a guy.
Uh-oh. We're being invaded. Welcome, Mr. Pancake Boy.
Oh, hello.
Are you coming to defend your option of putting your optic in the wrong location?
No, I know I'm wrong, and I'm here to apologize. And sorry. And I'm just hoping that when I go home, my wife will still have me because of my bad decision.
Don't worry. We still love you. We won't lose any respect for you.
Well, we never had respect for him.
You're not supposed to tell him that, Faust.
Never let anybody know that you're respectable, and then you don't have to worry about losing.
That's a trick.
So, yeah.
How you doing
I
tonight?
think it's okay to do things that's just because you think cool. Take that.
What was that?
I said, I think personally it's okay to do things to guns just because you think it's cool. So, take that.
Well, everyone has the right to be wrong on occasions.
It's true.
Like Glock guys.
I think there's more Glock people on the panel than non.
I don't own a Glock. I've only shot a couple times.
So I guess it's a 50-50.
Yeah,
I've got
I'm
a
not
2x4.
against Glocks.
I'm
I
saying.
just don't personally love them. I think I could get used to them, and I think they're good guns. I just don't own any.
I'm the same way. I just give G a hard time.
The one thing, New York is a closet Glock owner. He just doesn't want to admit it. I mean, he is leading the Glock meetings on Thursdays.
My name's Bob, but I'm an alcoholic.
That is not true.
We call perfection anonymous. So what's going on? Did you guys? I was listening for a while, then I couldn't listen for a while. You guys like solve a bunch of word problems or anything while I wasn't listening? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, we've been on many a topics tonight.
All over, technically.
We discussed that Rob D is going to get himself a new dog.
Oh yeah, I did hear the part. Yeah,
Maybe.
that's cool.
Right after
Make sure they're not inbred and stuff first.
right after he gets that German dog, he's going to go get himself a German/Austrian Glock to go along with that German dog.
You should just take this on. Or Gaston, however you pronounce it. Gaston, I guess, right?
Gaston.
Just name him Gaston. Gaston from Beauty and Beast, I guess. Gaston is the gun guy. Huh?
There we go. We already got a name for your dog. We can call him Gaston.
Gaston, huh? I don't know.
I can't see the chat, so if anybody's calling me an asshole, let me know. Okay? As well.
Just not many more than normal.
Oh,
Yeah, sometimes it's
the
better
usual
not knowing.
suspects, I can deal with that.
Yeah,
If somebody cool and important calls me an asshole, you gotta let me know.
yeah. Ghost and Clover haven't done it, so
Yeah.
So yeah, got AK
What are you guys
issues
doing
on
for
midnight.
Memorial Day? Anything?
say what?
What are you guys doing for Memorial Day? You guys doing anything special?
I'm gonna go watch some F-15 flyovers, and maybe go plant some flags with the radio station.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, I don't know if anybody saw it. I think it was this chat. I put it in the chat. I bought some of those little small flags at Walmart. They were super cheap. I was there anyway, and I saw them. So I bought a couple packs of them. They were like $1 for 4 of them, and they were made in the United States. So if anybody, if you need to get some flags or something to do something like that, swing over to a Walmart and see if you can find them. I only bought them because they were made in USA. If I probably would have bought them, you know.
I just have a hard time even going to that store.
Yeah,
right.
I know. It's not very much. Just every once in a while, I gotta swing in.
Yeah. I guess we got a new person or somebody's troll account. I'm not sure which one it is. But we got Clem Hogwaller.
Oh, Clem, that's my boy Clem. Clem is my stalker. He's my peeping Clem. He pretty much is moonshine mixed with antifreeze. It's called anti-shine. And he gets all whacked out, and then he tries to hit on me and get with me. He's a good guy.
So $20 is $20, right? Is it what you're saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, jeez, gotta pay that bill.
If it's for rent, the wife doesn't care.
Yep. Well, he says, well, if it isn't that good-looking Midnight Range TM.
That's it. That's my boy. I have him blocked on most of my channels because he's always trying to send me like, weird stuff, but apparently you have blocked on this channel. So Gotta watch out for that guy.
Yeah. I'm not scarred.
He's always saying he's always trying to get me to join his band.
You probably have joined his band.
He said I played a washboard. I don't know. I prefer the spoons. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm guessing we've got Obnoxious One's evil twin,
there's Obnoxious 2 out.
OBJCXNBL1. So
I think that's objectionable one.
maybe.
Objectionable one. Probably. That's right.
Hey, you know, a thumb up is a thumb up, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, take thumbs when you can get them, man.
Ooh, it looks like Blitz has got to run. He's got a tornado a half mile away.
Oh
So-
shit!
Stay safe. Hide under the bathtub. Get in the cellar.
No, man, get out there and get some video. Show us what you got. See Moo flying around.
I was in Minnesota one time when they had a tornado hit, and that's crazy. I mean, it didn't hit right where I was, but standing outside looking up, and you just see the whole sky start to turn, and everything kind of turns its green tint.
I was gonna say it turns like a greenish color, man. It's
Yeah.
wild.
Once is enough for me.
Yeah, I had one,
had one.
pretty close. This was, well, it was before my son was born. So it was probably, I don't remember what year it was. I remember it's the same year we had really, really bad, like, ice and snow. You know, like, it was a real bad blizzardy winter. We had a real bad blizzard. That same year, we had a tornado that actually touched down like 20 minutes away from me. And like a month or, I don't know if it was a month or two, but that same year, I felt an earthquake. All three in the same year, and I was like, "Holy shit, the world's coming to an end, man." That's actually what started making me think about, like, you know, prepping a little bit, having some stuff around the house, you know.
I woke up in a camper one time.
Flood. So we had a flood, an earthquake, a tornado, all in the same year or something like that. And I was like, this is really weird for Pennsylvania, man.
Yeah, I woke up in a camper one time with people screaming. Had no idea what was going on. I was a bit younger and had drank pretty heavily that night prior. Basically, apparently a tornado went right over and the whole camper was shaking around. That's why I woke up. And the trees like 20 feet from me were like tipped over and all split in a V. And apparently I was just sleeping right through there. People that were there on the property were trying to get my attention, but had no idea. So I guess I got lucky.
Well, Mr. Tactical Pickle, Calaveras 32 Special, just put out a 22 kill push-up challenge video, so definitely check that out. Mr.
Yeah,
Gizzard,
sure.
Mr. Gizzard Gary did a Memorial Day video, and so did Mr. Patriot in the Dark. So definitely go over after this is over, check them out, and give them some thumbs up, show them some love.
Hey, I'm gonna get going. I'm home here. Got to go home, make sure my wife didn't throw my AK-47 in the trash. You know what I mean? And
Hopefully, she at least threw the quad rail in the trash.
yeah. I will see you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, send me a link. I'll be on because I don't have to
Yeah.
work Monday. So
Okay. Yeah. If
Have a
anybody
good
wants
night.
to link, man. All right. Take it easy, guys. Thanks.
yep.
Later.
So I'll go over and troll his channel. He is gone, right?
Yeah. But yeah, like Midnight was saying, that's the same reason that I kind of prep a little bit is for natural disaster rather than end of society.
Yeah.
Just because, I'm in an earthquake zone.
It's smart. I think as a whole, none of us can really predict the future. So I think it is a smart thing, especially if you're dependent on something, which most humans are. We're depending on food, water, the general idea. But I just think it's a smart thing. People should have extra. But, there's a difference, not necessarily be one of these doomsday preppers, but, if you lost your job, broke your leg or something, you should be able to survive a little while. With what's happened, hopefully recently, people will, some people will look at that and hopefully adjust their finances.
Now, Warsaw, I believe that the AK Union Robsky has AK master mounts on his website, on his. I want to say. Let me. Master mount. Yeah, they've got a Gen 3 AK master mount for $80. AK master mount optic mount for like $125. RS products AKR Picatinny rail mount. So yeah, there's a bunch of yeah, there's a bunch of like RS AK-302 rear based optic rail. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of them over there on the AK store. But he may have one of the AKs that doesn't have the side rails to be able to hook up a master mount. So that's where I'm wondering is that if he has one of those the AKs that doesn't have the side rails, so you could put the master on there, and that's why he was saying you'd have to pay somebody to, be able to add that.
AK issues, man.
Yep. It's the AK lifestyle.
Shame.
I can appreciate what they are and what they can do, but it's just not for me.
Like I said, I see a place, but my place is close enough. You don't really need to worry about optics.
The only AK style rifle I would get would probably be a Dragunov if I had the money.
And that is for the cool factor, right?
Yep.
Part of it. Yeah. Those are badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my AK friend there, he's had to mess with a lot of stuff. I mean, you end up being good at it over time, but the issue that, nothing seems quick or easy. Um, from what I hear in a sense. So, it's not a problem because you can do this or do that, but nothing seems like it's just plug and play. So, or I shouldn't say nothing, but like I said,
There
there's obviously a difference. So,
Here you go, New York.
yeah, isn't that sad?
This one is New York compliant.
They probably want an extra $300 too.
So, I mean, get you that New York compliant. But this one doesn't look like. For some reason, the image isn't popping up. Yeah, okay, it does have a mount system right here. But for all of us that aren't in New York, we can go with something like this.
To me, they just look wrong with that style butt stock.
Or if you want, you can go.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I couldn't say how it would function in a sense, but it doesn't look right. It looks foreign, or
There's another New York compliant, so you don't have that pistol grip.
the little spur grip. Yeah, you can control the rifle, but it is different, and it's not as easy, I would say. So, but it's I don't
Compared
know, for the cost of those versus the other stocks that are available. I would definitely point people maybe in that direction. Try one.
compared to the rest of the world, where we can have the
Yeah, full grip, because that's so much scarier. I guess I don't know.
well, it's that pistol grip right there. It's that's going to get you in trouble every time. And then of course, nice 30, 40 round mag.
Yeah, I don't understand. It seems like you have better control and function of it with a pistol grip, but apparently that's not a good thing here.
You could always go here and go California compliant, where you can't really grip it at all.
A little fin thing on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd rather have that little spur than to have that fin. Let's just always go. And he's talking about Warsaw was talking about putting your optic out here. This is where Midnight has his, and we're talking about putting your optic back here. Where it truly should be, back here.
Yeah, I think a lot of the AK guys justify throwing it up further due to the dust cover, and avoiding the goofy mounts and paying the money and stuff. So, it seems it would be better back there, but obviously not attached to a removable cover that's going to have some play and tolerance. So I guess that's why everybody runs off the sides, but half of those again have that like funky hinge thing that, I don't know. I haven't used one. I've just heard about them, so I can't really say, but yeah, I don't know. The more moving parts, the worse off things usually tend to be over time.
But if I had to choose between I could only have one, the New York compliant or the California compliant, I would choose the New York compliant first. But yeah, and I believe that the Palmetto State Armory AK is the dust cover optics mount Picatinny rail system. So,
well, for an AK, depending how tight the dust cover mounts or whatever, I think it would be within the acceptable range. If you're a red dot or something up there like that. So, but
it locks in place, and then
yeah.
some of the AKs have a button on the side where you have to push the button in before you can actually release hit the release on the back of the dust cover so you can pop the dust cover up, which those are really stupid, but they're out there.
Yeah, sounds like Midnight's really concerned about the wife's impression of his AK. She must be pretty tough on him. Well, I'm going to have to get running. I've been informed it's fend for yourself night, so unless I just want to kill this can of dry roasted peanuts, I better run and make something here real quick. But all right, thank you for letting me pop on. If you're still running, maybe I'll jump back in, but unfortunately I have to go feed myself, so
Yep. At some point you might want to do that.
yeah. All right, well, everybody have a good night. I'll probably catch up with you guys soon.
Yep. We might be ducking out here pretty soon. So you want to promote your channel real quick? Are you gonna put out any videos anytime soon?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I need to, but I didn't have anything ready to go. So, yeah, the last one was a cheap do-it-yourself Target stand. If anybody's interested, worked out pretty well so far. No problem. That's about it. So, I don't really have many plugs or anything. So, everybody have a good weekend. Obviously, take a moment for what the weekend's about. At least give it the respectful thought or something. Can do what you can, and enjoy yourselves.
Yep. Be safe out there.
Take care, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, later.
So, you got any videos coming out pretty soon, DM?
Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully in the next couple of weeks here, I've got a couple new shooters that want to go to the range. So, just trying to get the time where we both, can meet up. But neither of them have ever shot before, so it's always fun.
You gonna put that Glock 20 in their hand?
Probably not. Stick with, probably go with 380 9mm, and then one of them maybe 40. Probably not the other one. It just depends on how it goes.
Yeah. Well, I hope to see those videos coming out pretty soon. I'm definitely gonna video the flyover by the F-15s on Monday, so I'll put that out. That'll be kind of nice. Hopefully I'll make it out to the woods to do some shooting. Maybe tomorrow. So definitely need to get some guns dirty.
Yeah, I was hoping to get that Glock so I could take it out this weekend, but doesn't look like that's gonna happen.
Well, there's always tomorrow.
Well, no, they're closed tomorrow. So.
Oh. Our stores are open on Saturdays and Sundays, and but I'm gonna probably look at shutting this down here in a few minutes. So, you got anything you want to discuss before we run away?
Everybody check out Kingpin's channel because he refuses to promote his own channel. Other than that, everybody have a good weekend. Maybe check out my channel if you get a chance.
Yep, definitely double check out. Check out Mr. Foss. Give Warsaw Patriot a like if you're not hooked up to him. He puts out some good videos. So
I'm up to 80 subscribers, so slowly getting there. If I get to 100, got some stuff I'll give away.
Well, we gotta get you some troll accounts.
And if in a couple years, if I ever get to 500, I'll give away one of my John Wick Continental coins.
Ooh.
It's silver, not gold, but
still
I can't afford the gold ones.
Still would be pretty nice, but hopefully the hens will have a chat tonight. Not sure if they will. I'm not seeing Gizzard or C4 in here, so we can't ask them if they're going to have a hens chat. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Remember why we have this this weekend. Take a couple minutes out. You know, think of the people that paid the ultimate sacrifice. And again, be safe. Keep around in the chamber. And we'll catch you next Saturday evening.